It's interesting that there are black females that question why black men do not protect black women. I'm going to make a video on this topic maybe a little later today. But I want to deal with this women's march in California that was canceled because it was considered too white. You see the headlines: Women's March in Mostly White City. In Mostly White City. Canceled for being too white. I'm gonna repeat that. Women's March in Mostly White City. Canceled for being too white. Now, I'm going to remain silent for a few seconds. I want you guys to kind of take that in. Think about that. A women's march in Mostly White City canceled for being too white. Now, it's interesting that it was canceled for being too white, but yet they move when black people move into their neighborhoods. I talked about this in past videos, where the black women are being used, and even black men are being used by these white feminist groups to pass their own agenda. And they can't do it without you. Because if you notice, whenever there's a march, there's always Black Lives Matter. The loudest people you hear that's protesting are black people. Angry black females. Aggressive black females. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. And then they have to have a black female to stand up as a spokesperson. And she's got the loudest mouth. And in the background, white women are cheering and praising her on. When are black people going to stop being the guinea pig for the white agenda? They don't want you in their neighborhoods, but yet they want you to partake in their feminist agenda. Now, I'm going to read this article, and I will put the link on the bottom, and you can check it out for yourself. Is no march at all better than a march with the wrong demographics? Now, you would think because it's primarily a white city, there would be no problem with the women of that city, white women, protesting. And you would think that they would be able to pass their agenda over because of the fact that they're white, living in a predominantly white neighborhood. Organizers of a women's march that was scheduled to take place in Eureka, California on January 19th wound up calling it off over concerns that there were going to be too many white people there. Up to this point, the participants had been overwhelmingly white, lacking representation from several perspectives in our community, states a post on the group's Facebook page. Instead of pushing forward with crucial voices absent, the organizing team will take time for more outreach. Now, I'm wondering if they're going to take time for more outreach to bring more diversity into their white city. I wonder how many black people they will allow to move into their white city. The same type of energy that they want in their protest, in their march. I wonder if they would like that same energy to live next door to them. Or will that white city, or the members of that white city, call the police on them, like we've noticed or witnessed lately? White people calling the police on black people for doing nothing, or for just sitting inside of a hotel. Although that person's got a room, they are paying customers, but police was called on them. But now that the feminist movement, the white feminist movement, want to pass an agenda, they need more diversity. Now they say diversity, but what they really mean is black women. They want the black women to take the reins, to be on the front line, to be anti-black men. They want to be able to capitalize off of the experience or the negative experience of black women. So they have no power without black people when they want to pass an agenda. But when it comes to black people living in their neighborhoods, they call the police on you and ask you, why are you here? The organizers of the Eureka Women's March in Humboldt County, California, are moving to focus towards an event date on March 9th in conjunction with International Women's Day. Now see, they're using the International Women's Day to push their agenda. They care nothing about black women. They care nothing about black people. But yet, you're only valuable when they want to pass their agenda. To ensure that the people most impacted by systems of oppression have an opportunity to participate in planning, another posted stated. We fail to have the type of collaboration needed to be inclusive of some of the most unrepresented voices in our community, namely women of color and people who are gender non-conforming. I told you. Now, this is the first time I really read this article, right? I saw videos and I had not really read this article, but I knew they were referring, or they were missing, women of color, black women. This is, in a word, stupid. For one thing, Humboldt County, where Eureka is located, is approximately 74% non-Hispanic white. In other words, the projected demographics of the march might have been a simple reflection of the demographics of the city where it is scheduled. It might not have been a it might not have been a racism issue or an inclusion issue, but a logical one. What's more, I'm having a hard time understanding how having no march at all is better than having a march that happens to be mostly white. If these marches do anything to fight Trump, see, that's their agenda. They care nothing about black people, which I'm not sure they do. But if they do, the way the organizers believe they do, wouldn't they want to have as many of them as possible? It's especially rich when you consider how often white women are slammed as a group because so many of them voted for Trump. People on the left have often calling these women traitors and all other sorts of terrible names because they chose Trump over Hillary. But when they try to do something to fight Trump, then that's a problem too. Give me a break. Now they playing the victim role. It's a wonderful thing to be inclusive, except when they want you to live in their neighborhoods. See, it's a wonderful thing to be inclusive, but you can't live in their neighborhoods, or they'll call the police on you. So black women need to wake up. Black men need to wake up and stop teaming up with these groups that don't benefit you at all. Think of all the marches that black people partook in where white people were leading it. Where has it gotten you? Have things changed for you for the better? Can you live in their neighborhoods in peace? Or have there been an increase of the police being called on you? Now, I'm hoping that you guys share this video. Even if you may not like a lot of the other videos that I've made, you don't like what I say, this video should be shared. Because if black women continue to be, now keep in mind, and I'm going to do a video on why black men don't protect black women, and a lot of it has to do with issues like this, where black females are teaming up with white women. Black females are leading the feminist movement for white women, and they don't benefit. White women are still getting married to their own men. They're still loving and respecting their own men, but black females are throwing them men aside. Black females are looking to marry white men that in many cases reject them or use them for sexual objects. See, so as long as your family member is in an uproar, as long as you're a single parent mom and you're raising children alone and your men don't respect you and you don't respect your men, they want you to lead their marches to pass their agenda while they're still living in their suburban all-white neighborhoods without you. But the minute you, as a single parent moms, and your 4 children, maybe by different baby daddies, decide to move into their neighborhoods, now they have an issue with you. They're not saying it's so wonderful to be inclusive. So it says it's a wonderful thing to be inclusive. And I think that it is a good goal for these march organizers to focus on including as many different voices in their effort as possible. But canceling an entire march because they didn't get those voices, especially when the area of the event is overwhelmingly white, does absolutely nothing to further their case. With this cancellation, the left gained absolutely nothing, and they lost the chance to have their voice heard, simply because too many of those voices happen to be white. Now, there's a mug that Trump supporters could buy. There's also t-shirts that says this. Here's the link right here, right on the bottom. Click this link and it takes you right to the page where you can order your own mug that says Trump 2012, F your feelings. So share this video, click on the donate button and donate to this channel. But black women, black men, you really need to wake up, because you're being destroyed from among yourselves. You're being used to promote someone else's agenda, destroying your own unity. Black women are now without black men. Black men now are without black women. If you look on YouTube, you'll see a host of videos where black men and black women are fighting among themselves, expressing hate toward themselves. And many black females have taken the reins in the front line of the white women's feminist movement. But white women still have their men. White women are still getting married. They have families. But black women are the most unprotected women in this world. So, feedback, tell me what you think, subscribe. Until next time, I'm just thinking out loud.